Oh my goodness, digital marketing can be so frustrating when you're in business for yourself. That's the truth, and that's the reality. And I'm sure, many of you watching this as small business owners and entrepreneurs, you could feel that tension at times because there's almost an unlimited number of activities that you could actually be doing when it comes to digital marketing. I mean, should you be running ads and advertising on Google or Facebook or Instagram, or where should you be? Should you be a TikTok star and start doing the Macarena for your clients? Is that really what it takes? The reality is there's almost an unlimited amount of activity that you could be doing when it comes to digital marketing. The problem isn't doing the right tactic. The problem is measuring the right things that help to drive the right tactics. And by that, I'm kind of referencing back to a Peter Drucker quote many of you have probably read. He essentially says that what gets measured gets improved. So you don't need more tactics necessarily, but what you might need are the right measurements to be paying attention to. And from our work as an agency with companies across the United States, in Canada, in a wide variety of fields, we've actually bubbled up 5 key metrics that we think have the most predictive ability to drive results, outcomes, and really measurable success for you and for your business. And so I'm going to share those with you here. Now, as I do, I want you to understand that these measurements really only matter because they tie to revenue growth. And if you think about revenue growth, the types of clients that you're trying to attract, it's not just about a one-time transaction. If you're watching this video, chances are the types of clients that you're trying to attract are probably high-ticket, high-dollar transactions that requires an enormous amount of relationship and trust because they're making a very large investment in working with you and your firm. And by that, you got to consider, what is the lifetime value of this client relationship? It's more than just a conversion or a shopping cart experience, isn't it? It's really about a lifetime conversation and relationship with that account that probably drives revenue and value for your firm on year 2, year 3, year 4, or perhaps even with a successful experience in working with you, they're driving referrals and friends and family to also consider working with you. Keeping that in mind, nailing these marketing measurements can be so valuable for you and for your firm. Because if you can tighten this up really, really well, chances are you can have better relationships for a longer time with the right fit clients for you. So as we get into these 5 key metrics, we got to begin, as Stephen Covey says, with the end in mind. The first metric I want to encourage you to be tracking, of course, is form fills, or like qualified leads generated from the marketing system. Like the humans that actually fill out that call to action form on your website. Ask them, where did you find us? How did you come in? Maybe track them with their IP address and attribution metrics. But really understanding the quality, it's not just about the fact that your form was filled out, but of the qualified leads generated, that's number 1. Then, beginning there as the end in mind, maybe the next step prior to that is a phone call. Don't forget to measure, number 2, the inbound phone calls that come into your front office. Because a lot of times folks will check you out on ChatGPT or Gemini, Google. They'll check you out on your website. And rather than filling out a form, if it's during normal business hours, they'll pick up the phone and call. And so as they do, track that and ask them, where did you hear about us? Because that information is really helpful intel to know where they came in. Then, of course, moving backwards, we talked about them checking your website out. And now website engagement and traffic is a really important factor to be looking at, because if you've got a healthy website with engaging content that's rooted in answering some of the questions that are on their mind, it's going to mitigate the risk for them to opt in and to have a conversation with you. And ultimately, you can measure that. Now, as you're measuring your website traffic, there's a couple things to consider. Certainly the organic traffic that comes into your website. You want to see what sources they come from. And then engagement time on those pages. It's a really key factor to watch, because we try to track to 40 to 50 seconds of engagement time per page, which means somebody's reading the content that's on your page, engaged enough to capture their attention and not just bounce out. So let's assume you have an engaging website. Then the step prior to it is getting the website found. In fact, there's a couple of things that we say in our office. A website's kind of like an engine. And without fuel in the engine really doesn't do much. So you can have a very engaging website, but if nobody comes into it, what's it matter? So there's 2 ways to fuel that engine. You can purchase fuel, paid advertisements, or you can earn fuel, which is like search engine optimization, answer engine optimization, getting found in Google and the chatbots. And earned fuel is really the highest qualified fuel that could come through your virtual front door. Because if you think about it, people are doing searches, they're querying chatbots like ChatGPT, Gemini, Google. They're asking complex questions about their situation. And then at that moment, they ask, well, who's the right advisor or the right firm to work with, the right builder to work with? And if your business pops up, they're going to come into that site very engaged, very curious, and that's an organic conversation. On the paid fuel, of course, it's like paid Google ads or Meta ads. That's like standing on a street corner with a bullhorn. I mean, you're probably going to get some attention, certainly, but it's going to be in there, while they're scrolling for funny cat videos in different times. So if you really want to have high qualified traffic, I really do encourage you to consider search engine optimization, answer engine optimization by presenting content that people are actually searching for. And so measuring site domain authority, keyword ownership, visibility in the LLMs, that's really, really important. But of course, we got to think, what's the step prior to even that is when you're actually publishing content. So these could be articles, landing pages on the website that are really intentionally published in order to capture the visibility on each of those platforms. Tactics that we apply here could be like including frequently asked questions on the bottom of pages, or TLDR, too long didn't read summaries at the very top of your articles. These are some of the tactics that are used to help trigger visibility as these pieces of content get indexed by the big search platforms. And so, again, thinking from the beginning with the end in mind, if you want leads to be generated from your website, qualified leads that are the type of client that would engage and work with your business, measure that. That's really, really important. And then also the phone calls. You want to make sure that you're keeping track of the phone calls and the inbound calls, because those might not come through digital, but digital was probably a very contributive factor in helping that person feel the trust to call you. And then prior to that, of course, is an engaging website. You're watching organic traffic, the sources of that organic traffic, and even the engagement time of that organic traffic as it comes into your site to know what it did and where it converts or falls off. Prior to that, you've got an AEO or SEO strategy, search engine optimization, answer engine optimization strategy. And here you're deploying intentional and strategic content that's rooted with FAQs, TLDR content, insightful questions and answers throughout the content that help to get it crawled and seen by the search platforms. And of course, publishing quantity of content would be the leading indicator for it. So in that organic example, if you really want to rank well and attract the right people, it's about publishing the right fit content up front that leads to the desired outcome. Want more content like this? Subscribe to our channel and we'll see you in the next video.